All teachers want to help, but when is helping a student not actually good for them? The other day I was in a math class working with a teacher. This teacher presented a word problem on the screen to her students. She read the problem aloud and did a great job of helping the students to make sense of the problem before releasing them to work. However, when she released the students to try the problem independently, she immediately crouched next to a student and began to help that student as the rest of the class worked independently for a few minutes. I walked a bit closer to see what she was saying to the student. As she was crouching with the student, she basically was rereading the problem and remaking sense of the problem all over again, almost exactly what she had just did to the whole class. She then offered a solution strategy for the student to use and gave tips for the student to solve the specific steps. Now, at first glance, this may seem great. The teacher was helping a student that needed help. However, when we think about the situation a bit deeper, there's a few possible challenges it can create. First off, if the teacher consistently crouches down immediately to help a student, that student will learn that they don't really need to listen to the teacher when she's up at the front of the room talking to the whole class. Instead, they'll get special treatment and an opportunity to re-listen to the making sense of the problem. The student may not actually identify that they're learning this habit, but the habit of not having to listen to the teacher solidifies more and more each time the teacher immediately comes after reading the problem, each time the teacher comes to rescue that student. Secondly, by not allowing the student to try the problem on their own for even a short amount of time, the teacher is assuming the student cannot do any of the thinking themselves. The student will have a very difficult time learning how to persevere on problems if they're never given an opportunity to do so. If you tend to rescue students a bit too early, you might want to actively try to set a timer for yourself. With this timer, you might want to force yourself to not crouch next to any student for a minute or 2 minutes or whatever time feels just a bit awkward for you. Then you can push your own comfort zone too. Sometimes letting the student work without being their crutch, without rescuing them too early, is the best thing we can do. Have a great day, all.